On today's episode of Living by Design, he's an Indianapolis native.
I'm excited to be coming back home.
Stand-up comedian. Actor.
Why you can't keep a man down?
Writer and producer. It's the incomparable Mike Epps. Today on Living by Design.
He's a comedian, an award-winning actor, film producer, and a writer, and by far the funniest man in comedy today, and my personal favorite, Mr. Mike Epps. Mike, how are you doing today?
All right. How you doing, Miss Lamont?
Design.
Thank you for having me on Living by Design.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, okay, Mike, don't get me laughing already because I know it's going to happen. So, yeah, Living by Design is all about helping people to design their lives instead of allowing someone else to do it for them.
Yes.
Because you know, if we don't design our lives, somebody else is going to step in and they're going to design it for us.
And it might not be the right thing to do, huh?
Exactly. It may not be what you want.
That's right.
Wake up one day and say, what in the heck? How did I get here?
Yeah.
So you're from Indy, and you're home. I know you're excited about that. I know I'm excited about that.
Yeah. I'm excited to be coming back home. I'm coming back to do the Marat Theater as usual. You know, Indy, of course, is my home. Grew up, born and raised here, and definitely trying to continue to make my mark in Hollywood and do good work.
Yeah. Now, I know when you was growing up here in Indianapolis, and I don't know if you ever thought that you would be the Mike Epps. So is this a passion for you, or is it just something that you actually fell into? How did you discover that you are extremely funny? How did that come about?
Well, you know, I started off in school, you know, really not really getting good grades and being a class clown. And I think that's like one of the first stages and notions that you can be funny in comedy is, you know, being a class clown. Excuse me. I was a class clown, and I did my first performance with my grandmother's retirement party in like 1987, 88. Oh, wow. And yeah, did a performance with her. And from there, I started doing like local comedy clubs, did crackers, stuff like that.
Here locally?
Here locally.
Okay.
And I found out the business wasn't here, of course. So I moved to New York, lived in New York for 10 years, moved from New York to LA. Just been in LA for about 10 years, so now I'm just really becoming like really grown in the business, really mature. I'm a real full-fledged comedian now.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Thank you.
And you are very talented. I mean, you can just switch it up, and you know, you do comedic roles and you do dramatic roles, and I love that about you. As a matter of fact, I loved your character in Friday.
Yeah.
I hated your character in Sparkle.
Yeah.
That's the mark of a great actor. When you can really make people love or hate you, because obviously that's what you want to do with the role that you're playing.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a preference for comedy or drama or?
Well, you know, I like doing both of them, you know, because, you know, you can really get typecast in Hollywood. Because after you do a certain amount of roles over year after year after year, you know, like I did a lot of Friday series.
Yes.
And people are used to seeing me play this goofy, silly dude for so many years. I did movies like Jumping the Broom.
Do you have any kind of relationship with some Vaseline lotion or anything?
Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins.
I can see why you can't keep a man down. You got to lay off them Milky Ways and Doritos and Tortillo chips.
And then, like you said, I did do movies like Sparkle.
This is Satin Strutters. I'm looking for a new act to open up for my show.
Talk to Me, Something New. I'm filming a dramatic role now in a Vince Vaughn movie that we're shooting in Atlanta. So, you know, you always want to show people that you have a wide range of talent and not get typecast. Yeah, because it's easy to be like, you know, people like Tom Hanks and Robin Williams and stuff like that. If you notice, they go back and forth. They do comedy and they'll go do some dramatic stuff. So,
Right.
God bless me with the talent. I'm just using it.
And I actually have to say, I've seen you in both, and I mean, I don't really know. You're so talented and versatile in both areas.
Thank you.
Because when I can hate a character, because I have such a loving heart and kind spirit, so when I can hate a character, you really have put your heart and soul in that role.
That's right.
And you was ugly and sparkle.
I know. A lot of people tell me that. My mother was like, "That's not really you, or is it?" I'm like, well, I don't think it is, you know, but I tell you what, when I was acting that, and that's the thing, you know, when you're acting and you call yourself an actor and you take on roles, you have to really become it, you know, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's you, but we all draw from certain things in the business. We all draw from certain points and situations in our life. That we can draw from, you know, dramatic roles. Normally you draw from things that you might have seen when you was a kid, or, you know, some of your experiences of growing up. That's what I draw from.
Yes.
And they become character. I use my imagination and become character driven for me.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because I was going to ask you, do you sometimes think back to some of your previous life experiences, or people you know who have had experiences similar to the role that you're playing, and you pull from that emotion that you felt with yourself or someone else?
No doubt.
And I know that helps.
Yeah, it does. Because I think to become a great artist, a great actor, you have to have a great imagination, you know. Because the imagination is what makes, you know, words on a script come alive, make performances come alive. It's because what you see in your mind is what you're able to portray and put out.
Yeah, and I also think that in any, don't you think in any endeavor, whatever it is that you're striving to be in life, you've got to use that pain. You've got to use that previous obstacle, because we all have a journey.
Right.
Mr. Mike Epps, the magnificent, bigger than life comedian, you've got a journey.
That's right.
You've got a past.
That's right.
So we've all got to use our past and use our pain to propel us higher, and not turn us and push us down and unpack our bags in pity city. So.
You make a point there. That's right. You always got to use your pain that's right.
To be better.
To be better.
Not bitter.
Not bitter.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Right. Yes.
Mr. Mike Epps, we're going to take a quick break, and I'm having such a great time with this interview.
Thank you.
We're going to take a real quick break here. We're going to be back with the one and only Mr. Mike Epps.
One of the things that I love about Indiana Wesleyan is that they are really good at creating a model where the left out can be included. Because what happens is that so many adults give up on education because they have so many responsibilities. They're raising children, they're trying to hold a job down. But Indiana Wesleyan has been a pioneer in making something happen for that kind of student.
Are you sick and tired of feeling sick and tired? Do you feel that life is passing you by, yet you have nothing to show for your efforts? Are your employees miserable with low morale and high stress? Hello, I'm Kathy Holloway Hill, founder and CEO of C. Holloway Hill Enterprises. And if you answered yes to those questions, then our quality workshops, seminars, keynote presentations, and one-on-one life coaching will provide you the tools and methods you need to elevate to a higher level of awareness. Life is not a destination, it's a journey, and you keep going and growing. So if you're ready to grow with us and experience results-oriented services, then contact C. Holloway Hill Enterprises today at 812-418-3391. Welcome back to Living by Design. We're here today with the one and only Mr. Mike Epps, Mr. Funny Man, Mr. Superb Actor.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about your acting. So, oh my goodness, you're doing so many different movie roles. Have a new movie coming out with Forrest Whitaker, Repentance.
Yep.
So let's
in
talk a little
theaters
bit about
now.
that before we get to the one you're doing with Vince Vaughn. So let's talk about Repentance. So what is that about, and what can your fans expect to see from that movie?
Well, you know, the movie Repentance, what attracted me to the script was Forrest Whitaker, great actor.
Absolutely.
Anthony Mackie, great actor.
Yes.
Sanaa Lathan, great actress.
Amazing.
And to be able to work in that kind of company is always good, you know, because when you work with that caliber of performers, it's very educational.
Yes.
And not only is it educational, it really makes your resume look good.
Like you really need that, Mike. Come on now.
Well, you know,
It
hey,
just makes it look better.
it does. It
Yeah,
does.
exactly.
You know, to work with Forrest Whitaker and stuff is really great times.
Not bad.
But it was educational. We shot it in Louisiana. It's like a horror thriller. It's kind of like a Black Misery. The movie, remember Black Misery?
Yes, or Misery with
Misery,
was
yeah.
it James Caan?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kathy Bates.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is all black cast, but similar
Okay.
story to it.
I
and-
loved that movie. I think I saw it about 20 times. Okay.
Yeah.
Now your character is Ben Carter.
Mhm.
Okay, so what is Ben Carter doing? And
Well, Ben Carter is a brother of Anthony Mackie, and Anthony Mackie is a self-proclaimed motivational book writer. He motivates people through books and stuff. And me and him was out drinking one night
okay.
in the story, and we hit a woman.
You my brother. You acting all high and mighty because you some kind of therapist, but I know you.
I ain't gonna tell you a secret.
You know, he wanted to keep this great image of who he was and didn't want people to know that he was out drinking, and we hit a woman, so I disposed of the woman as his brother. Got rid of the woman, and life went on. And
And you don't have to give away everything, because I don't want to ruin it for your
Yeah,
fans.
it's a good movie. Go check it out. It's in theaters now.
Oh,
so,
is it? Okay, so it's in
yeah.
theaters now. It's always already out.
Repentance. Go check it out. But it's a good movie.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Now you're also in the midst of doing a movie with Vince Vaughn,
Right.
Term Life. So tell us about that.
Term Life is a movie, Vince Vaughn, another dramatic movie. But we of course know Vince Vaughn is a comedian, and he's comedy. He does comedy in the movies. But I'm playing a crooked cop in the movie. So.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm pretty
That's
sure
cool.
people in Indianapolis can relate to this
So
one.
you're going to be a Denzel in this movie.
Yeah. Not, you know, sort of a Denzel, but you know, more like a real New York cop. Or
Now, is it totally a dramatic role, or are you going to add your little comedy spin to it?
yeah, well, you know, I'm always gonna try to make something funny too.
Right, exactly.
You know, even though that I do dramatic roles, you might happen to still get a laugh out of it. Some people's like, man, when I watch you do dramatic roles, I'm just sitting there waiting on you to be funny. And I'm like, well, you're gonna be waiting because
Yeah. Yeah, because you've done some very good dramatic roles where
Thank you.
funny just didn't fit in.
it didn't come in there.
And you did it just right.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I have to ask. I absolutely have to ask, what is it like working with Ice Cube?
Ice Cube is cool. You know, Ice Cube has definitely been one of the brothers in Hollywood that give a lot of brothers opportunities to work.
Yes.
You know, he opened up a door for Chris Tucker and myself. And
Oh, wow.
now he's working with Kevin Hart. So, you know, Ice Cube is definitely one of them brothers that, you know, opens up doors for new and upcoming guys in Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah, because you did a lot with him in the Friday series, and I think that's all I can recall. Has it been any other projects that you and Ice Cube have worked together on?
All About the Benjamins.
Oh, that's right. All about
Yeah.
exactly. Okay. Yeah, and both of those were really good roles. You've done a lot of stuff. I mean, because that was kind of a thuggish kind of situation, and again, you did very well. So, okay. So, any other projects that you have coming up in the pipeline? Because I know you've got a
I'm always
busy man.
Yeah, I'm always working on some projects. I might be possibly doing some TV now. I'm getting to the point now where I want to do a little TV. Because nowadays the business is a little different. And the movie selection is really, really slim. So I think I might do a little TV coming up. I got a couple pilots I'm looking at. So.
Okay.
But until then, I'm always doing my stand-up, always on tour.
Yeah.
The Mike Epps After Dark Tour. This is a new tour that I'm doing.
Excellent.
New jokes, new opening acts. And I'm here. I'm at the Murat this weekend.
Yeah. Now, I personally am from Kentucky, but I've lived here in Indianapolis for...
From Kentucky?
Yes.
Which part? Hopkinsville?
Louisville.
Oh, you from Louisville?
Yeah, no.
Okay,
no.
I messed it up.
It's Louisville.
It's Louisville.
Louisville.
Now,
It's
all
good,
my
Mike.
life I've been calling it Louisville.
Oh,
It ain't Louisville, it's Louisville.
yeah. That's good. Very good.
Louisville.
It's Louisville. And then you even got the little drawl thing.
But it's crazy because they be talking about the bat, right? And they always like,
The Louisville slugger.
yeah, see, and that doesn't sound right. I'm going to hit you with this Louisville slugger.
Yes, that's right.
It
That's
sounds
exactly
better
right.
when you say, I'm going to hit you with this Louisville slugger.
No. Nope, Mike. Nope. But that's good, though. I got to give you credit. I got to give you credit.
Louisville.
See how quick you catch. That's why you're such a great actor.
Louisville.
Because you could take this thing and make it your own.
Yeah, Louisville.
Love it. I love it. You
I
are so
love
crazy.
Louisville.
You are so crazy. We're going to take a quick break, and we are going to be back with more of the amazing Mr. Mike Epps.
That's right. On Living in Style. I mean, no. Is that it? No, Living by Design.
One of the things that I love about Indiana Wesleyan is that they are really good at creating a model where the left out can be included. Because what happens is that so many adults give up on education because they have so many responsibilities. They're raising children, they're trying to hold a job down. But Indiana Wesleyan has been a pioneer in making something happen for that kind of student.
Next time on Living by Design.
Did you know that you were born to be brilliant? Well, my guest today knows all about that because he actually wrote the book on it. Mr. Simon T. Bailey says that if you learn how to release your brilliance and then harness your brilliance, you will be able to get out of that old rut that you're currently living in.
So Release Your Brilliance, I wrote it from a very deep place. Release Your Brilliance is really understanding that all of us have potential. We have insight, we have genius in us. Everything you need to succeed in any economy is inside of you. So there are 3 questions that I really want everyone listening to us to answer. Question number 1 is, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? Question number 2, what would I do if no one paid me to do it? And question number 3.
Don't miss Living by Design, Sundays at 6 p.m. on WHMB TV 40.
We are having an amazing time with the amazing Mr. Mike Epps. So I guess that makes sense, huh? So, Mike, welcome back. Living by Design. Let's talk about how to live by design. Now, you know as well as I do, Mike, we have some serious issues with our youth today. Not just in this community, but just in our nation. Talk a little bit about how can we, as a community, help our youth to get on the right track I mean, they're out there in social media. They can't even have a conversation with people because all they know how to do is just type that text language, which don't even make sense to me.
Right.
And we want to put them on a track toward designing their lives and living their passion and living according to their purpose. What can you say about that? What do we need to do in our community to help our youth get on the right track?
Well, you know, I think one of the most potent thing to do is to really teach by example. You know.
Oh, I love that.
Because a lot of the kids they don't realize that people don't realize in general that, you know, you have to have a certain group of people, a certain amount of people that are doing the right thing themselves to make the kids do the right thing. And what is happening is, you know, there's a generation that dropped the ball before this new generation. So those people have to, once they prepare, prepare themselves and repair themselves and become better people and set examples, then I think you'll see a change in the new generation. Because they're only going off of what they see.
Exactly.
And what they can't have access to.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So if you got one floor that doesn't have structure, that's loose,
Right.
you know, of course the second floor is going to be, you know.
Right. And I don't have anything against the rap artists. You know, I know they're doing their thing. That's their passion. That's great. But when all you've got to be a little bit more open-minded. You can't just watch all the music videos that talk about guns and violence and all of this kind of stuff and, you know, calling women bees. And you've got to have, you know, an environment where you open your mind up for other things. Then you take advantage of the opportunities in the community, resources.
Right.
Because there are organizations out there that help young people. There are foundations out there that help young people get on the right track. So I want parents, everyone who's listening, I want parents to take advantage of these resources. If you're a single parent, I totally understand, because over 75% of our community is a single parent household.
Right.
So use the resources that are available to you. Yes, ladies, I know it's difficult to raise a boy. I know it's difficult for a single mother to raise a boy, but use the resources that are available to you, because if you don't do that, then you're going to have such a difficult time raising a successful, well-rounded young person. And if you had to give someone advice based on your past and your experience and when you were growing up, did you have two parents in the household?
No.
Yeah, you had a single parent? Okay, if you had to give advice to anyone out there, boy or girl listening, what would you tell them?
For someone who grew up with a single parent or
Either,
or a parent,
especially
either.
Someone who grew up with a single parent.
Well, you know, when you grow up with a single parent, of course, it's a challenge, because you only get in one point of view of parenting, you know. And like you said, it's very hard for a woman to raise a man, because, you know, you're dealing with the opposite of what, you know, your values and what you think life is about. You know, sometimes women can't connect with young boys. I think young boys need men in their life. And sometimes, you know, with your kids, you just have to really show them that you really care, you know, and try to be there for them.
Encourage them and
right.
motivate them, yes,
Yeah.
instead of tearing them down. Well, you didn't do this good enough.
Yeah.
Well, let's focus on what they did do right instead of everything that they may be doing
Yeah,
wrong.
because that makes the kids give up, you know.
Good point.
You know.
Right.
And, you know, one reality is what's real is, you know, you're not going to be able to save everybody,
That's right.
you know.
Exactly.
There
Exactly.
will be casualties in this life that we live. Everybody's not going to make it, you know, unfortunately. But those who want help and those who need help, you know, those who seek it shall get it.
That's right.
You know?
And you can't force someone to want something more for their lives than they want for their
That's
own
right.
lives. So
You gotta want it.
yeah, you absolutely have to want it. I do a lot of work with Girl Scouts of Central Indiana, and there's a Boy Scouts of Central Indiana. So that's a great resource. There are tons of resources. Girls Inc. There's tons of opportunities to
Yeah,
get
these
your
kids
child
gotta want it.
involved.
Yeah, you gotta want it.
Yeah, and tell your parent that you want it. I mean, and if you really want to get out of a situation that's difficult, everybody gets teased in school and get in trouble in school. I mean, we all have a past.
That's right.
We all have our journey that has brought us to the point we are today.
And that's another thing the kids got to understand. They got to understand that they're not the only ones who, I think sometimes kids look at parents and look at older people and say, you know, they don't know the full knowledge of their past. You know, so it makes them rebel.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you don't like me or you're on top of me all the time. It's because sometimes, you know, the parents and, you know, older figures, they don't sit the kids down and tell them, look, I did all of the things that you're doing.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So I can relate to you.
Exactly.
Instead of hiding all the stuff that you did. And
right. Trying to act like you are the perfect parent.
That's right.
When you weren't. You know,
That's
you
right.
weren't always been a perfect person. Mike, you are doing a lot of work, and I love your work, and I'm so proud of everything you're doing.
Thank you.
What does Mike Epps do to relax?
You know what? I got several different outlets, you know, that I do. You know, I like to, I'm into the sports. I like to watch sports.
Good.
I like watching sports. I like going to the games. I like traveling, going to different, you know, I like going to places that are very remote. Now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to learn how to appreciate my vacations. I used to go on vacations when I was younger, and I couldn't really enjoy it because I was worried about my work and stuff.
Yeah.
Now I'm learning how to, you know what? This is a time for you to let it go, cut your phone off.
Right.
You know, and it takes time to learn. You know, ain't nothing built overnight.
Right.
You know, so I'm starting to learn how to relax in my mind.
Good.
And be conscious.
Good.
Be conscious of what I'm thinking about.
Right.
And how to not let it control me.
Right.
And hey, let it go, you know?
Exactly. Well, Mr. Mike Epps, I thank you ever so kindly from the bottom of my heart for sharing just a little bit of yourself and your heart and your spirit and your life and your success.
Thank you.
With my viewers. You are just an amazing young man, and I just think the world of you, and just keep making me laugh.
I will. And
keep making me laugh.
And you have a great show, and may God continue to bless you. You know, I'm a big fan of you and your husband, Tony Lamont, and thank you for having me on the show.
I'm a fan of Tony Lamont's too.
Well, you ought to be.
Yes, I am. Thank you, sir.
All right.
We appreciate you joining us for this segment of Living by Design. And I always say, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you're right. Join us next week for another empowering episode of Living by Design.